This year I've set myself a challenge. I'm going to get every single achievement in every single Xbox Fallout game. Originally it was going to be trophies, but my PS3 and Elgato had a fallout. So, the game I'm starting with is... Released in 2008, developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks, released onto the Xbox 360, PS3 and PC, Fallout 3 was the third major installment in the Fallout series, and the first to be published by Bethesda after acquiring the rights to the franchise from Interplay Entertainment, selling 12.4 million copies, making it the second biggest selling game in the franchise. Now, I already have a small handful of achievements from 2010, so I'm just going to pick up from there, as the majority are just me leaving the vault. We start our story outside the G&R Plaza, where we take out the first behemoth of the game, which then goes on to get us an achievement later on. Once inside the plaza, we're met by 3Dog, everybody's favourite radio DJ, but also can get very annoying after a short while. He awards us with the following in his footsteps achievement. Whilst in there, he gives us our next story mission, which is to retrieve a satellite from the Virgo 2 lunar lander so that he can broadcast across the entire capital waste. With the dish in hand and now installed, we then go back to the plaza to speak to 3Dog about where Dad has gone after he left the vault. He tells us that Dad's gone off to Rivet City and that I need to go and speak to a Dr. Madison Lee, but before leaving, he also gives us our next achievement, Galaxy News Radio. Once we arrive, Madison Lee tears you a new arsehole for interrupting her until she realises who you are, then goes on to tell you that your dad is at Vault 112. Now this is where I get more technical issues, because my Elgato then decided to stop working once again, and I didn't realise until I'd made it through to 112 and then did the puzzle for Tranquility Lane. Anyone who's new to Fallout 3 and gets to this point, or you just didn't have a clue that this even existed, go and check the channel because there's a guide on there already ready and waiting for you. After freeing Dad from the MetaQuest 7 beta testing, he rewards us with another achievement, Tranquility Lane. After that, he tells you that you're a naughty boy for leaving the vault, but then also tells you to go and meet him at Rivet City. The next achievement on the list was Waters of Life. You literally have to take everyone to the Jefferson Memorial to kickstart Project Purity, but it all goes wrong because the Enclave decide that they're going to get involved with it. And then no more than 5 minutes after you've released your dad from the MetaQuest 7 beta testing, you lose him once again. Is it sad? Yes. But at the same time, it just feels like a waste of time, and I'm going to make a video about this soon, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned in. So after we watch Dad risk his own life for everyone else in the Wasteland, we then have to guide the scientists through the tunnels to the Citadel, which is also the Pentagon, which is also where the Brotherhood of Steel are. And for doing that, you get the next achievement, Waters of Life. If you're still watching right now, thank you, I really appreciate it. I'd also appreciate some sort of interaction with the video. I'm not saying you have to, and I'm not bothered if you do or you don't. Just YouTube asks me to ask every now and again, so I will. If you're also wondering where the hell's half the gameplay footage, I have had to chop this down from 4.5 hours long with over, I think, about 70 hours of actual gameplay that I did over the past month. But don't stress too much, I put up a poll not too long ago, and a lot of you want the 4.5 hours long version as well. So you will be getting that with no commentary, no editing, nothing, just pure raw content. So the next achievement on the list is picking up the trail, which then requires me to go from the Citadel to Little Lamplight so I can get into Vault 87, grab the Gek, and then get out again. Which then also gives me another achievement, finding the Garden of Eden, which I then get kidnapped by the Enclave and have to go and speak to the President. But before talking to the President and asking him to blow himself up, I got the Psychotic Prankster achievement, which is literally just to plant a grenade in someone's pocket whilst pickpocketing and watch them explode. Now that I've left Raven Rock after convincing the President to off himself, I ran all the way back to the Citadel to speak to Stepsister Lions and Grandpa Lions. After standing there for what felt like a lifetime, they then decided to activate Optimus Prime and all the Autobots rolled out.
Autobots, roll out!
And Optimus Prime was fully in his prime, throwing bombs at everyone, stamping on people, kicking people, using his eye lasers at people, until he sacrificed himself for the greater good and took out the electric fencing that surrounded the Jefferson Memorial to allow us entry inside. Once inside, we're confronted by Colonel Autumn, who we then decisively decide he's no longer worth keeping around, blow him up, go upstairs, put the code in, and essentially end our own life. But in doing so, we're rewarded with our final main game questline achievement, Take It Back, just for completing the game. Now this is where the real fun begins. I have to go back into said game and do speech challenges, kill 300 people, kill 300 creatures, terminals, lockpick, bobbleheads, side missions, super mutant behemoths, and karma levels. And if you thought that was going to be easy, it really wasn't, because it took me 2 weeks, because I have to go to work and do a real job as well, to finish all of this, not including the fact that I had to go back to a previous save to go and get all the bobbleheads because I left one inside Raven Rock. I had all the others, one was left inside Raven Rock, so I had to go and get all of the bobbleheads again. So before we get started properly on all the other stuff, here are the bobblehead achievements. For 10 bobbleheads, it's Yes, I Play With Dolls. For 20, it's Vault-Tec CEO. Now that rant's over, let's just crack on and get into it. First up, karma levels. I did the good karma throughout the entire campaign, so that was quite easy. If anything, it was just a pain because you have to do level 8, level 14, level 20. I don't know why it needs to be done in that order, but it just is. After that was neutral and evil karma. There's still a lot of people out there that still don't understand how this works, so I will be making a guide on that, so make sure you subscribe to make sure that you check that out. So next up on the achievements list was going around and doing all the side missions and all the little challenges that follow. While stumbling around in the wasteland, we're reunited with Grandma, and she asks about a violin that I had originally found whilst doing 100 locations. She thanked me, told me how much of a big, strong, handsome boy I am, and then awarded me with the achievement Agatha's Song. We then found ourselves inside a police station where we found 2 people locked up in cells down below. We had to free them and then take them back to a place called Big Town. Once helping them arrive back at Big Town, the local resident Dr. Red awarded me with the achievement Big Trouble in Big Town. I then found myself sorting out some problems that a guy was having with vampires. Yes, you heard that correctly, vampires in the wasteland. I basically had to be negotiator, ask the vampires to stop going there because they'd already taken someone else who had killed his parents, and then Evan King rewarded me with the achievement Blood Ties. Never in my life did I think I'd have to reenact Twilight whilst playing this game. Then decided to make my way over to Paradise Falls, met up with this guy called Grouse who asked me to go and kidnap a bunch of people, and then for doing that he rewarded me with the achievement Strictly Business. But that wasn't the only thing I went to Paradise Falls for. Ultimately I decided on my own that kidnapping people was wrong, so I waited till morning broke and then decided to kick the front doors in and start blasting, and in doing so I earned myself 2 more achievements, the first one being Doesn't Play Well With Others for killing 300 people, because they absolutely 100% deserved it, and then also got myself the achievement Rescue from Paradise for saving the small children that had also been kidnapped by what seemed to end up being a paedophile ring. After that I decided to head back to Megaton to help Moira Brown finish her Wasteland survival book, and I also got hit up over the radio by a martyr who needed my help, so I had to go back to Vault 101 to see what she wanted. After arriving back at Vault 101 it was quite clear to see that the vault was still in complete disarray from when I left, but it turned out she just wanted me to have a word with the new overseer, because just like her father, the new overseer had also lost the plot, so I had to put an end to his life as well, which was apparently the wrong thing to do. Either which way that it ended, I managed to gain another achievement, Trouble on the Home Front, for my troubles of going back into the vault and killing the overseer. After leaving the vault, I decided to go into Springvale, which then actually gave me another achievement, Keys are for Cowards, for picking 50 locks. After doing that, I heard of another child that was in need of my help, so I decided to head over to Grey Ditch and speak with Brian Wilkes, who unfortunately lost his father due to experimental ants. He asked me to sort that out, found the scientists behind it all, put a stop to everything, gained some super ant powers, went back to Brian, and he gave me the achievement as a reward, those. Whilst we're on the subject of ants, I found myself in another town where there was a really bad cosplay event going on, where it was the Antagonizer versus the Mechanist, and ultimately the leader of the town asked me to put a stop to it, so I went and found the Mechanist's lair, asked him to stop, got given the armour, went and found the Antagonizer's lair, less persuasive, had to put an end to their life. But the leader of the town was so grateful that they gave me my next achievement, Superhuman Gambit. But all these killing of ants got me hungry for more, so much so that I ended up killing a mole rat and getting my next achievement, Slayer of Beasts. While still in search of 100 locations, I stumbled across Gerda Shade, a small town populated by 2 people. The nice lady there asked me to find her some Nuka-Cola Quantums, and not only did that get me the achievement, the Nuka-Cola Challenge, it also gave me my final weapon schematic for me to go and get the next achievement on the list, Weaponsmith, for crafting every single customizable weapon in the game. Now with a new army of weapons by my side, it was time to take on the rest of the game. And whilst I'm editing this, I also found out that my 50 terminal hacks clip didn't save. It turns out the file was corrupt, so I'm just going to sort of insert that here now. Now that that's sorted, back to the video. After sorting out all my weapons, I took myself back over to Underworld, where I met Mr. Crowley, who, if you ask me, is named after the Ozzy Osbourne song Mr. Crowley, who gave me my next achievement, You Gotta Shoot Him in the Head. This one was quite an easy achievement, mainly because I'd already started doing 100 locations, found all the people that he asked me to kill anyway, and just did as he asked, apart from Ted Strayer at Rivet City. Now whilst at Underworld, I was able to start the next achievement, Riley's Rangers. All I needed to do was wake her up off the hospital bed. She told me that her Rangers were in trouble, fight through a hotel and a hospital against a bunch of super mutants, and then once we get them back, Riley's all alive and well, back at the Ranger base. She gives you some armour, you get an achievement, and then you're sent on your way to go and do whatever else you need to do. Which so happened for me to be finding and killing the final super mutant behemoth with Forks by my side. And without him, it probably wouldn't have been possible. And with that one out of the way, it was time to me to finish up the side missions and get the 100 locations in the bag. The first stop was Oasis, where we meet Harold the Tree. Now I think this tree is the tree that 3Dog bangs on about when you listen to the radio and he asks you if you've ever seen a tree. Once you've destroyed his heart and you meet up with his followers again, they're a bit miffed, but they're not too miffed because they're happy to give you the Oasis achievement. Do feel a bit sorry for Harold because he's just sort of been mutating over the years and eventually he's been stuck where he is, turned into a tree, and he's just asked you to kill him. But after that we head back down into the capital, meet up with Leroy Walker, give him some stuff that we found that was to do with Abraham Lincoln. He buys it off you and he also gave me the achievement Silver Tongue Devil because he was my 50th speech check. But that also led into the next achievement, Head of State, because I ended his life shortly after getting that last achievement so that I could help Hannibal and all the other ex-slavers move down from the Temple of the Union so then they can set up shop at Lincoln's Memorial, giving me the Head of State achievement. While we're on the subject of presidents, I had to go and steal the Declaration of Independence, which means I had to pretend to be Donald Trump and pretend I was actually handing back the papers that I stole from the White House. But in actual fact, I was Nicolas Cage from National Treasure, stealing the Declaration of Independence, and I had to go and take it back to Abraham Washington, who then in turn gave me another achievement, stealing independence, and then I was on my way to go and see Zimmerman. Now, I'd already met Zimmerman earlier on in the game. He wanted me to go and find an android from the Commonwealth, which we later discover the androids are synths. Synths have been in the game since Fallout 3, and then we also learn about the Commonwealth, which then set up for Fallout 4. We also learn that Harkness was the android that he sent us out for, who was a guard at Rivet City, but to protect him, when we return to Zimmerman, we tell him that he's dead, and we give him the component that can only be found inside one of these androids. Luckily enough for me, he believes it, and he gives me another achievement, the Replicated Man. And last, but certainly not least, after doing some more exploring throughout the entire capital Wasteland, I'm finally given the 100 locations achievement. Fallout 3 for me is easily my second favourite game in the entire franchise. I had a lot of fun playing this, trying to get 100% of the base game achievements, which I have now done, and I will be going back to do all of the DLC achievements in one video, so it's probably going to be Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 DLC achievements in one video once I've done the other games going forward. But if you've been with me through this entire journey and seen all the posts and everything else that I've put up about it, thank you for staying and watching this entire video. I know it isn't very long for an achievements video, but the whole point is for it to not take up too much of your time and try and provide you with some form of entertainment. So if you're still here, thank you, I really appreciate it. Wouldn't mind if you dropped me a like and a subscribe and maybe shared it with someone who you think might enjoy it. If not, it doesn't matter. I just appreciate the fact that you've been and sat and watched this for the best part of nearly 15 minutes. You know what game's coming next? Everybody's favourite, Fallout New Vegas. I'm going to start the recording of that probably in the next couple of weeks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, so stay tuned into FalloutTV, and I'll be back again soon with another video. Don't forget to go and check out the other videos on the channel. There's a couple of guides up on there now. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. Goodbye.